We're here to talk about what you've been up to the past couple of years, which is a lot. And the first big thing is, excuse me, the Vickie Guerrero Show, which a lot of people already love. You're getting a lot of great names, which seem to be a lot of friends from your past and present. Who or what was it that inspired you to launch a podcast?
Well, I never thought about, having a podcast because my forte was being interviewed all the time. So that was the easy part. But when my co-host, Gerald Strauss, he had interviewed me before and I knew him through the years. And he said, would you ever be interested in doing a podcast? And I thought, well, I'm not tech savvy to do like all the connections and, the editing and stuff. And he says, I'll take care of that. I just need your name. So he pretty much put it really simple that, if I get your name, then we can do this together. And we hit it off and we make a great team. And everything has just been really a lot of fun. I love researching the people. I love having, them come on the show and just, it's my chance to highlight someone else. And it's been a lot of fun because there's some really great talent from all kinds of genres that I'm loving to put them on the spotlight and, showcase what they've been up to.
And on the first episode, you kind of talk about your mission statement is to be directly in touch with the fans and at the same time your friends and all that. Who was the first guest that you booked, or at least you thought, hey, this is the person that should be on the first episode?
I think it was more about availability. Because as you try and get guests and content, and it all depends on everyone's schedule. But my first one was Edge, and Michelle McCool. So I think I did them in the first week, and I just love these guys dearly. And so we had a lot to talk about with us working together. And then we also have a friendship outside, the business. So it was just a perfect fit and everything ran really smooth. And I love to talk, so it wasn't hard for me to get a conversation with these guys.
And the first episode also refers to the fact that people call you the Queen of Mean, but you really do have this heart of gold. When was it that you realized that you could show your true personality and be yourself whenever you wanted?
That's a good question. I guess I went through a lot of stages of trying to find my own identity, before Eddie had passed. I was his wife, I was the mom of the girls, and I kind of had to, kind of stay behind, and my focus was to get Eddie, to, he was a star, and it was my job to kind of keep everything together. It took me a while after Eddie passed, and I went on to WWE to be one of the superstars. It took about a good, 5 months to believe in myself, that I could do this. And, they call me the Queen of Mean, but, when they pay you to be, a mean person, it's very easy to find that inner bitch. And, but, at the same time, it was really important for me to play this villain character. But when I see people outside, in public and outside the ring and in hotels, I'm very real, and I don't play the villain at all unless I have to. But I just want to show people that, there's a character and then there's the real me. And I try and be down to earth and just, I love talking to people and meeting people from different, parts of the world. So I'm kind of infatuated with everyone else because, when they want to come and talk to me, I forget why. And so I get very humbled because they want to, come and get to know me a little bit more. So I try and open that, with every conversation I have.
And I had the pleasure of seeing you on the Jericho Cruise, and you were definitely a hit among the 2,200 or so cruisers that were on there. And when somebody starts to do live podcasts, it's a sign that they're not only doing well as a podcaster, but people also start to clamor for other kinds of entertainment, live one-person shows, a book and all that. Mm-hmm. Are you looking towards that as a podcaster, or is it really just you want to do the podcast and that's what the focus is?
Yeah, the reason I love the podcast is because I can do this forever, as long as, by the grace of God that I'm able to do this and interview people and, find content. I am willing to be here for the long run. But I do have other projects. I do have other things that my eyes are set on, but the podcast is such a great fit because I can do this on my off time. And it's not something that I need to, stop my other projects from doing. So it works out really well with the schedule I have now.
And speaking of those other projects, I remember reading a couple of years ago that you were doing a scrapbook for the Bella twins. And I think a lot of people read that and they went, wait, Vickie does scrapbooking. So can you tell me more about your artistic background and your crafts projects?
Yeah, I mean, I've done crafts since the girls were babies. I picked up scrapbooking. I even have my own store in Tampa, and I love scrapbooking because, of course, you can take pictures of when the kids are young and journal and keep those memories in these books that I create. And when the Bella's mom, Kathy Laurinaitis, had came up and said, hey, I want you to do some for the girls, I was humbled and excited. And we also had done an art show for one of the WrestleManias, and they were asking the talent to do different art projects. So I thought, well, gosh, I'll do, a scrapbook frame of different superstars. And it was just a lot of fun. And I've always done it on my off time. And I've always been a crafter. I love to paint wine bottles and work with cactuses and, putting the cactus in the wine bottles. And if I'm not painting, I'm scrapbooking. So I always have, and I'm always living at Hobby Lobby. If you go on my Instagram, I'm always bragging about how I would do anything for a Hobby Lobby spree, shopping spree. So it's kind of the joke in my life.
Interesting. So if somebody were to hire you for a scrapbook, what is it besides cash, of course, that they have to provide for you to get started? Do they have to just send you some artifacts or give you a theme?
I'm very particular. It takes a lot of work before I even start the project because I need to hear the story of what the book is going to be about, whether it's a baby book or a graduation or a wedding. I like to consult with them and get their ideas and look at the pictures. And also the client has to be very detailed in what each picture is saying because I have to, put that story on a page. And so I look for a lot of facts, names, what was going on, what the situation is. And then I have different color schemes that people pick from, and I carry that through the book. So it's a lot of artistic, touches. And of course, the price depends on how much, they want to embellish the book with, different papers and, decorations you can put on the page. And then also the price is about the time that it takes. And I think one scrapbook can probably average about probably $500 to $600. It depends on how many pictures there are and what they want to do for that book.
I'm sure a lot of people listening to this will be reaching out to you in the near future. You can just submit an inquiry through your website, I take it, for scrapbooks?
Yeah, or my email at vickie.guerrero@outlook.com. I try and keep my clientele, I'll Skype with them, or I love when they're in Houston where I live, because I can actually meet with them and look at their stories that they have. And I'm really particular and picky about, the person's, pictures because that's their memories, that's their family, their loved ones. And so I make sure that we understand each other, what they want to say in that book, and I carry it through to the end of the project.
Well, going back to your podcast, you said that you found something that you can do for the rest of your life, which is, of course, wonderful to have a creative outlet like that. Do you have plans, if all went amazing, to do it more than once or twice a week, or is that just the right amount for you?
No, I love to be busy. Actually, I'm probably bored right now. I did the Chris Jericho cruise, and I do Comic Cons and different conventions. My heart goes to acting. I just finished a short film here in Houston that we filmed over the weekend. And, so I have an acting agent who's looking out for projects for me to star. And that's my big goal for 2020 is to be in a movie or a TV series. So I do acting classes during the week and do my podcast, and then also do interviews like for yourself. So I'm always trying to, keep busy, promote, and publish my own content. And then also working on my book. That's been taking a lot of my time. So when I'm down, downtime and I have nothing to do, I have my computer and I'm always writing on my book that's going to be published this year.
Wow, I didn't realize you had a book in the works. Any hint you can give us as to somebody writing a foreword or an introduction for it?
I do have someone who's good. I think Tamina Snuka is going to be one of the ones that will write the foreword. That's something that's always been dear to my heart. She went through a lot of my road travels with me, and we share a lot of the common interests. And so it's hard to say, if I could, I'd have 10 people write it for me, but we'll see when that time comes and what the editor wants. But yeah, she's someone that's made a big impact when I was at WWE. And
you've been very open, which is wonderful with me so far. But is there anything that you wish more people knew about you in general?
Wow, Darren, let's see. I think I'm pretty much an open book. I think I'm a little bit of OCD. I love to be on time. I hate being late to things. I'm very, I'm very organized. I'm a planner. So if you looked at my desk, I have a bunch of things to-do lists, and I check them off as I finish them. So I guess I've kind of, gained that behavior from WWE, because I had to plan everything precisely with my girls and being on the road. But yeah, that's something that I am, is very organized.
Great. So in closing, Vickie, any last words for the kids?
Gosh, you know what? The kids are just really dear to my heart. I try and be the person that they meet on the streets. I'm very humbled. I always tell everyone to always have your faith, and whatever it is, to have a higher power that's going to give you that motivation and the strength to get through whatever you're going through in your day. And just to, whatever you're going to do, make sure that you're loving it, so it doesn't feel like work. It's going to feel like you're at a playground every day.